Welcome everybody to another GvG commentary. Today it's going to be a quieter edition as I've got to keep my voice down because the kids are close to waking up. They've just gone to sleep and it's like 12 AM and I don't have a soundproofed room, so hopefully I get to finish this thing. Anyway, today it's going to be a match from the European Daily Tournament between Bad Joff, HDM, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, against Handsome Men. So before we jump in, let's take a look at the builds. On the left hand side, we have HDM with a spike build. Is 2 Paragons, a Coward Warrior, Smite Monk, Dom Mez, and 3 Monk backline with Boon Signet on 8. For men on the right hand side, it's single front, Coward Spear instead of a second front with Holy Spear. Practice Stance Ranger with an Aviate Spect build. Dom Mez with Power Leech as the elite. Spirit Light Weapon Rit with Shadow of Haste. 2 Monk backline and the ST Rit on 8. ST Rit will do very well in this matchup against the Spike build. There's nothing that HDM has that can push for the ST Rit. It would seem they've got no tanky characters, like no Warrior Paragon with Prot Defense and Holy Spear that can push up and take out the Spirits easily. You've got no Lisa that can push in range of it and stick onto it without being punished. Got nothing really to take that out, so that's going to be very punishing against them. ST is very powerful against their build as well. It's a physical spike. It's dependent on very large damage packets, which are reduced by shelter, and a lot of physical damage, which is going to be blocked by displacement. And also soothing would hurt as well, because it would be more difficult for the Paragons to gain adrenaline. And they don't even have any adrenaline gain skills. These days, sometimes you see skills like To the Limit, or You Will Die, or Make Your Time. But without any of those skills, if there's a soothing up, it's going to take a very long time for the Paragons to even gain adrenaline. If they can even hit at all to gain it, because of displacement. So I think this is going to be a very difficult match for HDM. On the bright side, they are against a single front build, so there's going to be limited kill threat from men, probably. A lot of pressure though from the Ranger. However, he is against 4 Shield Guardians, 1 on the Smiter, and then 3 on each of the backline. It's Boon Signet instead of Healing Burst on the 8 Monk, so there's a little bit less party healing because of that, but with 4 Shield Guardians it shouldn't be a problem. So this is probably going to be a long game. It is Warriors Isle, and I don't know what to really expect other than that HDM is going to have an extremely difficult time killing unless they can find a way to take out the ST Rit. They've only got a single hard interrupt in the entire build. It's just a single complicate. And if you complicate one of the communing spirits while ST is up on the Rit, then it only goes on something like a 12-second cooldown. Only the complicate cooldown. It doesn't take the extra 45 seconds or 60 seconds that it would take to recharge normally. So complicate can't even keep down a single spirit permanently. And there are multiple spirits that are going to be contributing to stopping HDM spike. So if he interrupts, say, displacement, he's not going to be able to interrupt shelter, and then he's going to get the next displacement off anyway in 12 seconds. So I really don't like HDM's odds. They also don't seem to have a great flagger for this matchup. They can't flag run easily on, well, maybe they could flag run on Paragon because they have Lead the Way, but it's not going to be that comfortable. Don't want to flag run on a Warrior with Rush and no other speed boost. They have fallback on the Cruel Spear, so they could run on him too, but again, it wouldn't be comfortable. What they'd probably want to flag run on is the Smite Monk. However, they might be reliant on his Shield Guardian. So I don't like HDM's chances in this matchup. But they have got a build with a huge amount of party healing, and most of the damage out of men will be party-wide degen from the Ranger. A Rit doesn't offer much damage in a straight 8v8, It looks like this Rit's job is to balance out the build a little bit, support them having an 8 ST Rit, and just to run flags with Shadow of Haste and defend Elisa and potentially Solar Split if he needs. The skill he's replaced Shadow of Haste with is Essence Strike, so he's got a little bit less energy management for long 8v8s. So that's it for the builds. Without further ado, let's jump into the game. Whoops, I forgot to start Toolbox. Let me get that open. There we go. So it's men in the red, HDM in the blue. This is a very rare matchup. The ST Rit on 8 is very new tech, something we've only seen starting in the last few weeks. I guess if you go back a month or 2 or 3, we have seen it a couple times here or there. Phenor was actually the first one to start running it outside of Spirit Way. It was also the first one to start running Feast of Souls, which is now becoming meta on that Rit, or at least a very commonly chosen option on that Rit, as it does counter a lot of builds, especially if you're replacing the 8 Monk. It adds a lot of party healing that you miss because you're missing an 8 Monk, and it also is very good against Hexway. And it's very good in general because the range of Feast of Souls is your entire compass. And it's a gigantic heal. HDM bring back their repair kit on Smite Monk. Men have brought it back on their Rit. HDM going to be a little bit behind on flag for a moment. They have the Footman pulled. Footmen, they can probably take down more easily than players, because Footmen don't benefit from shelter or displacement. Hope my sound levels are good. Anyway, Footman's still up, one of them gets low there for a moment, and men are under absolutely no pressure whatsoever. Again, there's nothing that HDM really have to take out the spirits. If they push the Paragons up to take them out, the Paragons will be vulnerable. One character that teams bring these days, as I mentioned before, is the Warrior Paragon, with Holy Spear and with Protector's Defense. He can run up pretty far, sit himself in range of the ST Rit, put up Protector's Defense and just spear down the spirits. And there's not much that can punish him for that. But HDM do not have that. HDM a bit behind on flag now. Just going to pull back, perhaps having difficulty with the ST Rit. Splitting off Warrior now with Smite Monk. So recognizing immediately their gigantic build disadvantage. Or if not build disadvantage, their just inability to win in the straight up 8v8. I'll probably lose Footman for this. It's good on them for recognizing this so early into the game. Bit of a slow defense by men. They don't have the usual 8 Monk that you defend with, so it probably takes them a moment to adjust. And this is where having the Spirit Light weapon comes in handy. If you have only a 2 Monk backline plus an ST Rit, your build doesn't split apart very well, but with the Spirit Light weapon, it does much better. But it's still a bit awkward, because in these sort of split up matchups, the ST Rit can be exposed. For example, the Paragons could push onto him and take out his spirits, and men would have less damage to punish the Paragons with. HDM holding the flag. can see the 4 Shield Guardians doing a huge amount of work, keeping HDM bars up as well. Just neither team able to really put out any pressure. Men able to put out more than HDM though. ST Spirits are back pretty far now, a little bit of an opening now. No, HDM is going to immediately resplit. Baltov of Men and Ranger are on top of it. Also putting pressure onto the 8 Monk that wants to support the split. SLW of Men running their next flag. While HDM have their next flag already here on the Smite Monk. So HDM have probably half, you count it as half a player advantage right now, as it is an extra player that is holding the flag. Until Men's Spirit Light Weapon Writ reaches the main. And because they are up an extra player, it's easier for them to get on top of the Spirit Light, sorry, the ST Writ. But now that's an even match, ST Writ should be fine. Baltovish. HDM getting a bit low now. Well, they were low before, but now they're getting close to taking some deaths occasionally, so not a good look for HDM here. And pushing forwards again, a bit probably out of spirit range. Leaving small openings for HDM to spike them out. Difficult to exploit though, because only a few characters at a time are out of range of these communing spirits, which makes it easy for the monks to predict where the spikes will be. HDM getting pushed back quite far. See, they're running now on the Smiter, which is what I mentioned during the build review, that it's the character that they want to be running on, but they're now missing a shield guardian when they do that, which makes the bars less stable. The problem is, if they run on anything else, then they're absolutely guaranteed to never kill anything. So the Spider will keep them stable, but they'll never kill anything. But if they run on the Spider and keep the rest of the damage main, they'll probably still never kill anyway. Anyway, poor speed boostless warrior here is splitting out. Will be met by Spirit Light Weapon Writ, who will completely destroy him if he engages. Men edging ahead. And HDM has to find a way back into this game. Men have one knight pulled. Player advantage to HDM until the Spirit Light Weapon Writ reaches the main team. But again, nothing can be done about this soul twisting Writ. Warrior pushes for the spirits but nearly dies in the process. Union goes down, but another one pops up. I think that was Union, maybe it was displacement. Anyway, Soothing goes down, but it's so easy to put back up again. Will be Shelter first. Warrior charges his rush and uses it to break away. Eats a Harrier's spear. And another one. And another one. I'm guessing that they coordinated an interrupt there on the Signet of Pious Restraint because the Dervish didn't use it. Dervish almost goes down chasing the Warrior, but Warrior and Mesmer are able to put out enough pressure that the Warrior can escape. Surely Spirit Light Weapon though will now come back and meet him. Warrior does not have a flag. so will not be much of a threat. Doesn't have the repair kit, doesn't have the flag. Not even sure whether he'll have enough time to kill this footman. Seems like he will. Just. Well, that's something. And Smiter goes down there unpacked. It seems. Yeah, second death, so probably unpacked. I didn't notice that he died before. And even though Men's build is not the most powerful 8v8 build, damage-wise, their counters are just too perfect. HDM have nothing to split with. You've got the speed boostless warrior. There's a pact on him as. You've got the smiter. You've got the paragons with weak speed boost and split situations and limited healing. Smiter himself has a very limited healing. And having a boon signet 8 monk doesn't help either. So unless HDM can solve the puzzle of the 8 writ or push out some heavy dedicated split and catch men off guard, I don't see how they can do anything this game. If they do move around enough, then they could find opportunities because the spirits won't be following them. Or at least it will take a while for the spirits to follow them. Looking for it now, sending the smiter out the back door. The warrior's already out the back door, 1v1ing with the spirit light weapon. But I think the spirit light weapon does pretty well in this 1v2. Especially with a footman to back him up. Warrior's not able to tank the degen is the problem, and there's no healing. Or very limited healing from the smiter. But they're being brave about it, they're 8 monks on the way, so they can engage early. Range is going to be back as well, so it's Ranger Spirit Light Weapon and a 2v3 against Warrior, Smiter, and 8 Monk. This will mean that men are probably going to have to send something else back too. Coward catches the Writ. Grapple on the Spirit Light Weapon. But grapple not that helpful unless he's got the Brace Yourself with him as well. Probably want to take out the Spirit to reduce the Spirit Light Weapon healing. Now it's a 3v3 as the 6 monk reaches. I wonder if that leaves men's main team exposed with the ST8 and the 7 monk. Displacement's down. HDM not looking healthy on the split. This may actually be one situation where Boot Signet is good, however still struggling to keep up the number 4 here. It's good until it gets D-shot, and it looks like it might have been D-shot because it's not using it. It's good because you can cancel it all. It gets D-shot again there. Perhaps twice in a row. It's good because you can cancel it a lot against the Ranger, whereas Heal Burst, you can only cancel it so much. But there's a collapse by the Baltov of men, and it's followed by the Prot Monk of HDM, which relieves all the pressure on HDM here, or at least a bit of it for now. Especially until the Boon Signet gets back. Mesmer of HDM is going to join as well. And this is the movement I was talking about before. It'll take a while for the ST spirits to catch back up again. So there's maybe a little bit of an opening here. For HDM to score kills, they almost get the Baltov there. ST Rit will be majorly out of position. Yeah, he's in the middle of the fight almost. He almost goes down. He does go down. And this is exactly what HDM needed. Take out the Death Pack there with the grapple. But Rit gets up anyway. Rit's still in a terrible position. Needs to reposition himself. And get those spirits back online. HDM not giving him any room to breathe. Grapple there on displacement. Remember, it's only one hard rupt. on the side of HDM, so it's very important to keep down the spirits, and they score another kill on the ST Rit. Men on the retreat. Is there a flag? No, there isn't. No flag for HDM. Ranger of Men is going to push back to hold back the 8 monk. Paragon going to come back as well, probably for flag. So the push of HDM is going to have limited success from here. They don't have their repair kit either, so they can't repair the catapult of Men. Going to circle around though to their front door, as there is a threat of a dervish. And what else can HDM do with this time they have? Do they have any catch potential? Doesn't seem like it. Didn't even bring out the repair kit there. A little bit of a missed opportunity, and a great job by Men to stop the bleeding there. And it's going to be a reset. But have HDM figured out a game plan? Have they figured out how they can score kills? It's by moving the battle around, forcing the ST Rit out of position. Question is, are they going to do it again? And if so, how? They're going to look for a backdoor push again. I think this is a good call. It's only, though, with 3 of their players, not with the whole team, which means that it's not immediately going to lead to any kills. No backup flag for HDM. Is there even a flag for Men though? Men 7, there's a Men 7 monk going down, almost gets soloed by the Mesmer there. Plus some Paragon damage, I believe. But in return, HDM's Paragon goes down. So it's 2 monks, 3 damage against 1 ST Rit, 1 monk, and 3 damage. Relatively even matchup, but HDM catches the bad end of it. There's a cap there by Men. Interesting, Men have a HDM player here. And HDM's main team pushed back into their base once again. 3v3 stalls in favor of Men. You know, while Boon Signet may be somewhat helpful here, Roth certainly isn't. Patient would be much more helpful. Oh, sorry, collapse there by the Baltdev of Men. And that's going to be deadly. 7 monk of HDM pushes, saves the 8 monk and the warrior. And because of those saves, does this mean the ST Rit is out of position once again? Displacement goes down. ST Rit is temporarily out of position. Putting up displacement in the middle of the battlefield, needs to reposition as quickly as he can, but HDM's Mesmer goes down. Caught out of position towards his front gate. And that will mean that the ST Rit is once again almost in position. HDM last ditch effort to catch him. But if Men reposition their backline here and their midline here, which they're not doing by the way, so it does leave them exposed. 6 monk goes down. Men need to reposition their team right now to protect their ST Rit. Leaving it exposed is leaving the rest of their team exposed as well. As if he can't get off spirits properly, it leaves the entire team open to being spiked. They're supporting him perhaps enough now as the Baltdev is linebacking the Axe Warrior. Still very awkward though. They really want to set up a proper formation once again. HDM taking a massive amount of pressure though in the process of diving the ST. It's too much and the Smiter goes down. I think that I think that the Mesmer here of HDM should try and just push up, or should have tried to push up a little bit more. I'm not sure. Maybe he was just being stuck by the coward spam. But I think that it perhaps caused some stretching of the monks of HDM, which led to that death on the Smite Monk that was frontlining. Anyway, Smite Monk's back up. HDM really all want to be together, if they can, pushing together. Because they do have 4 Shield Guardians, and they're very dependent on those to stop the pressure against them. Pulling back now, but there are 8 Monk and Paragon are caught in the process. And this is not looking good at all. There's very little AoE for HDM. I think there's just a bit on the Smiter, but there's no Dervish, there's no Elementalist AoE, it's just Paragons and single target damage for the most part. There's the AoE now, Symbol of Wrath. And HDM able to break free. Warrior ran front door during this. Is he able to take out the Archer? He is. Barely. But I think it's 45 DP on the Smiter of HDM, so HDM have to be very careful in these engagements now. HDM's Warrior rejoins the main team. D-shot there on the boost signet. What's this, a flag? That's a cheeky flag run there by the Smiter of HDM. HDM's main team though, gonna have to pull back there. We'll be able to play a disadvantage. But now the SLW responds, and that's going to completely stop the flag run. But it may also help HDM's main team survive. But HDM will need to figure out another way into this game now. Thankfully, they've only lost a single knight to this point, so they're not too far behind for 28. Except for the fact that they have a lot more DP. One knight even in itself can be very important though for 28. It means that you only have to push 4 into the enemy pit, and you can survive a lot more easily in the enemy pit as well, if you have a knight down. 3-man split once again for HDM. With the flag this time. It's going to be the same defense. Ranger, SLW, 6 Monk. Which means that we have this 3 damage, 2 healer setup that previously favored men. The split 3v3 also favored men as well. There's a pullback by HDM, a split by the Mesmer. Interrupt there on the Cryptsig. Are we going to see this style of engagement again where HDM keeps on feeding players to the split and men try and connect through, which forces the 8 ST Rid out of position? No, it doesn't seem like it. It's just going to be the Mesmer, which means that it's 3 damage for HDM on the split. They lose a Paragon on main team though, unfortunately. Is it going to be enough for HDM to score a kill? Yeah, player up on split, player down at main. Men are going to pull back fully as they don't have a comfortable response to the 4-man. The 4-man split. What happened to the flag? Got returned, I guess. 4-man split though, going to have to retreat as the main team of men pulls back. Cryptsig almost in range, but not quite. Seemed like a scary combination there out of HDM. Doesn't look like men have a great way to defend this yet. What would they do? If they leave their main team without enough damage, then it's easy for HDM to push on top of the ST Rit. So if men defend the 4-man by sending back, say, the Warrior Paragon, then their main team damage is only the Balthderv and the Mez. And it would be difficult to stop HDM from pushing onto the Rit. There's going to be a 4-man again out of HDM, defended by 3-man out of men. So this will be a bit of a base trade. can see now the Paragon pushing on top of the Rit. Even against... Hang on. This is 2 damage. No, it is 3 damage. It is 3 damage. So we can push on top of it because Men is looking for NPCs. But if Men were playing a bit more slowly right now, they'd be on top of the Paragon. They're doing it now. And the split of HDM is returning to their front door. Is HDM looking for a block? Men have a proper formation here. The ST Rit is protected. Might be a good move for HDM to look to go out the front door now with the flag, as Men is protecting the back door. It also gives HDM a path to the base of Men if they choose to take it. This is not a great position for Men to be in, but because of the 8 ST Rit, it's difficult for them to reposition themselves. HDM is going to go out the front door. That's going to be a free flag cap, I believe. And I would guess that they run some players into the back door now. And look to get some pit NPCs down for 28. Are they going to do it? A little bit of indecision. It's a 4-man again. It's going to be flag cap and into the front door. Good thing about this Lord Rush setup, if HM can survive long enough, they will boost. Because the 3-man defense out of Men is not going to be able to run a flag. No, the Smiter of HDM is turning back. Actually, the full team of HDM split, except for the Warrior is turning back. Probably because Men have the timing advantage here. They've pushed into the pit of HDM and are farming a bit of Lord damage. They lose their Mez though. What's happening? How'd they lose the Mez? Maybe they're lacking a bit of healing in the pit. Sacrificing themselves for a bit of Lord damage. Smart move. So Men take a lot of deaths, but they get some Lord damage for it, and they will base res in 30 seconds. And that puts Men firmly ahead for Lord damage at 28. And now the ball's in HDM's court. They have to do something drastic now. They were able to keep up all their other NPCs. They've still only lost a single knight. So if HDM can send a push team that can survive long enough to farm Lord damage, they still may be able to take this. Unfortunately, because they pull back their main team, they lost the flag that they would have had a boost from, which means that the Smiter is still highly DP'd. It's going to be a 4-man split out of Men with 3-man split actually with single monk. This is I think, a bit of a misplay. How many monks are we defending with the HDM? It's a single monk and 2 paragons. I think this is quite a misplay. There's an opportunity here. If the 5 men of HDM can sit in the pit for long enough, there's an opportunity for HDM to farm Lord damage, and the 3-man team of... No, it's now 4-man, sorry. It's 4-man. The Mesmer did decide to come. If it was 3-man, then they wouldn't be able to farm Lord damage because they couldn't break Entourage. This game could go either way, actually. I think it's going to favor HDM, to be honest. It's going to be down to Men. They have to score the kill, actually, in the base of HDM, and they know it. Going for the kill on the number 8. Can the defense of HDM kill the offense of Men is the question. Men are only pushing with a single monk, so the 2 paragons could score the kill. Pact is ruptured there. And it looks... Okay, they take out the Mez there. With the bodyguard dead, they can break Entourage. Nothing to interrupt the Pact with. Might have been better to have the Mesmer back. He doesn't offer much for Lord damage, but he would have a fast Pact and would support them playing defensively and also destroying the solo monk. But unfortunately, for HDM, Men is able to end the game before 28. So super close game. HDM was, despite losing almost the entire game, almost able to take the game. If it had gone on 15 more seconds, they would have at Lord damage. And man, I think if they had just defended with that Mez instead of one of the Paragons, maybe instead of the Paragon Necro, and had the Paragon Necro push, that would have been their game. But who knows, because maybe if they pushed with the Paragon Necro, they wouldn't have been able to survive in men's base. But either way, a super close game. And the build of HDM completely countered. Sorry, the build of HDM. Yeah, I said HDM. HDM completely countered by men. But men's build themselves with not quite enough damage to force through kills easily against the 4 Shield Guardians. With only the single monk. Sorry, single frontline. So that's it. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a like and subscribe. And I will see you next time.